The inspiration for my larger basement board came from this smaller board. Let me back up so you can get a look at it. It's about 3.5 by 3 foot. One of the main features on here are these puddles. So I'm going to have to do that to the larger board. And I'm just going to use a Dremel and a sanding block to sand the indents in there so that when the puddles are poured, they look like they're below the surface level. One of the ways I like to get the indent look is to use a Dremel and a sanding block. You may have a better method. Feel free to post that if you do. I just sort of take it and get a nice little indentation there. You know what I mean? And you just take the sanding block and sand that down until it's smooth. This doesn't have to be perfect because the epoxy that we're going to pour down in there to give the puddle look effect will cover some of that. So you just need to make sure the edges are nice and smooth, and I'd do a much better job if I had both hands here. So I'm going to put this camera down and get to it. Get back to you in a second. And here we have the rest of the spots ground out. Like I said, these don't have to be perfect because we'll be covering with the epoxy later, and the epoxy will leave a nice flat surface. So all you got to do is rough these up, take them down roughly, I'd say less than 1/8 of an inch, and those will make some nice puddles on our board. Okay, here we are back at the board. I really didn't like the way these lumped up, all that lumpy part. So I'm also going to take a sheet of sandpaper, go ahead and smooth those down a little bit. Keep doing that till it smooths down a little bit better. Okay, here it is after I've sanded a little bit. It looks a little bit better. Lumps aren't as bad there. But again, like I said, you won't see that because the epoxy will be a nice flat consistency over the top of that. Okay, now we're going to paint the entire board one color as a base coat. This paint is just a leftover black paint from one of my wife's painting projects, and the brush is a buy 3 for $1 at the dollar store, so very inexpensive. Okay, as you can see, I've painted the base here. Got a base coat of black down. Some places it wasn't exactly 100% perfect, but after we apply the kitty litter sand and Elmer's combo, we'll be going over it again. This is just so that underneath that kitty litter sand and Elmer's glue combination, we'll have an easier time making it appear dark because this dark color will be underneath it. So, okay, now comes the fun part. Got a little bit of glue, another one of them buy 3 for $1 paintbrushes. I'm just going to take this glue and put it over the entire table. Okay. And now you want to make sure you don't get it on the puddles, okay? Do not hit your holes, because we want the glue to stay out of those because we don't want any litter in there. This added litter around the edges will also raise the surface up, giving our indents a little more depth. So that'll help it make it look like those puddles are a little deeper than they actually are. So you just get that on there real good. Try to spread it around best you can. It's going to take only about 1.5 years or so. And don't worry about this brush. 3 for $1. It will be okay. You'll notice this kitty litter will soak up a lot of moisture because that's what it was made to do. So you may have to reapply this in a couple places once it dries. Try to get the center taken care of first. I'm really worried about the edges too much. I'm just doing the edges first to demonstrate the technique. I'll use the whole bottle here. Paint quick. It doesn't really dry all that fast, but you don't want to get all the way to the end and find out your entire glue is dried on you, so try to get it on there as quick as you can. Like I said, we'll have to probably go over this again, get any place that we missed. Oops. All over the place. Careful not to paint in the puddles. If you do paint in the puddles and some of the kitty litter gets stuck, don't worry, you can just pick that out. Okay, we're going to just start off with straight kitty litter. This is all over. Of course, this is clean kitty litter. I don't recommend using used kitty litter. Bought this kitty litter for $1.88 for a large bag. We're able to base countless numbers of bases and miniatures and terrain projects. We still got more than half of a bag left. Very economic basing material. Oh. Just show you. Okay, there you are. The board completely covered with kitty litter, and we're going to leave that overnight.